Hey guys, what's up? So what is the future of space travel? Space travel started off with a bang where in about 1969, we went to the moon and we landed on the moon. And because we got there, we thought that, wow, we're now a space traveling people. You know, like the people of Earth are now space traveling. We went and we hit the moon. And we thought that like we were just gonna just go out there to space. Mars was gonna be next, and then Jupiter, Saturn, all of those planets were gonna be next. And we were gonna go out into the solar system and explore there. And even like the moon, the movie 2001 predicted that in 2001, there's gonna be a mission to Jupiter, and intelligent computers that are they're gonna have like spaceships where, you know, where people are just going to take long journeys on there. But what happened? Like nothing went of it. Like nothing happened after, you know, after we landed on the moon. It was like we did it. You know, we already did it. We landed on the moon. So now what do we do? So NASA was, you know, in 1980, NASA started with their space shuttle their space shuttles, where they developed a space shuttle that what it does is that it would just be one piece that you can reuse, you know, the main shuttle, and then the rockets, they would just throw out rockets and build new ones. But what happened was the space shuttle went into, the space shuttle just, it just didn't like do anything. It basically started in the 80s, and then it just had its missions. All it did was put satellites in space. It put a telescope in space, which is actually really good, but it's pretty much the only thing it did. We didn't go to the moon after that. We didn't go to Mars after that. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't develop, you know, space technology. We didn't develop any kind of technology. We didn't develop anything that, you know, to take our next steps into space. So what's interesting that's happening is that because basically NASA didn't get like funded for it. You know, NASA wanted to do it. They really wanted to do it. They just didn't have the money to do it because NASA was nationally funded by the government. And the government decided it was not a priority to really go into space anymore. Even though they wanted to and people were behind it, they were just spending that budget money on other things that they thought were more important. So it took all that time for these companies to start coming out, like SpaceX and Virgin Galactic, to actually develop space rockets and space technology to take us to the next level. Like SpaceX wants to take us to Mars, and that's Elon Musk's company, that he wants us to go to Mars, and they're really developing technology, and they're developing a mission where people will go to Mars. They have like, you know, they have right now robots on Mars, but robots are like, it's not really people exploring stuff. It's like, it's a probe. It's like, you know, it's like, it's a robot. You kind of see through a camera and it just travels around a little bit. It's not a person. It's not a person that's like landing there and talking to you as they see the place and they're showing you the whole thing on camera. You know, that's a whole different thing. So I feel like now, only now, years and years later, is that the space whole mission is starting up again. And people are really putting money into space. And this has to do a lot with the fact that it used to be that they just wanted to do it because they were competing with other countries. They wanted to be first. It was a nationalist thing, you know, but now it's like the reason the people that are developing the technologies and taking the next steps into space is because they want people of, you know, of Earth to be a spacefaring civilization. They want our future to be like us traveling the galaxy in beautiful big spaceships, exploring everything. You know, they don't want us to like stay on Earth. And NASA just didn't do anything. NASA didn't take that next step and continue their whole space exploration and putting people further into space. It never went to Mars, even though they wanted to. They never went to Venus or any of those planets. There's asteroids that they never landed on, which they can land on. So now it's like they have people that are actually taking it to the next level, and they're doing it for the right reasons. They want people to explore space. They want people to explore, you know, our area where we are, like, you know, our solar system and our part of the galaxy. Even though the next really like Earth-like planet that we can actually probably inhabit is like so far, millions of miles away, and it would take hundreds of years at our present speed to get there, you know. But there's just no way that we're ever going to attain that kind of technology if we don't just keep working on it, if we don't just take the next steps, you know, if we don't like go out to do our next mission to Mars and then maybe a mission to Jupiter. And yeah, I know like Jupiter is just a gas giant, and you can't really go into the, you can't really land on Jupiter with our present technology, but you can land on Jupiter's moon and look at Jupiter from that. And maybe you can like develop some kind of a ship that can actually go into the Jupiter's atmosphere and explore it and fly around and take pictures or like see what's there and stuff. And it's interesting because they went from a nationally funded space exploration program to a privately funded space exploration program. You know, they went to, and the privately funded, because the people that are funding it have so much money that they're like, they have so much money to put into this that they're able to like pull it off. They're able to do it. The guy that is in Virgin Galactic is the guy that runs Virgin Airlines, and he's a billionaire, and so he can put a lot of money into developing spaceships and getting people to the next level. And it's amazing that now you have these people that have the means to do it, have the funding to do it. And like Elon Musk, who wants to do it for the right reasons, just because he wants people to go out into space, and just see what's out there and explore it. Even if it's just rocks out there, we have to take the next step to ever get anywhere interesting in space. We have to maybe fly onto a few rocks before we fly onto a planet that it's just, eventually we're going to get onto a planet that's just really interesting, and we don't even know, when that's going to happen or how it's going to happen. So that's the thing, but it's amazing that finally people are starting to go into space. And we're going to see this happen with the mission to Mars. We're going to see real excitement over going into space with the mission to Mars, because they're planning to do this in the next 5 years or so. It's going to take about 6 months to get to Mars and 6 months to fly back. And then they're going to put, maybe like a space station there, some like settlements there. They want people to actually live on Mars, They want people to like go to Mars and actually live there and inhabit Mars and stuff like that. And they have people that want to do it, even though it's dangerous, and even though it's a crazy mission that's just like, it's going to take them a while to get there, and like a while to like, and actually like living on another planet. The gravity is not as much as Earth. It doesn't going to feel the same way. There's no air. There's air, but there's an atmosphere, but it's not like an oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere like we have on Earth. And so, but they're going to do it. And I feel like that's the next step. And if we do that successfully, it's going to be amazing, because the people that are taking, going there, they're going to take all of us there, right? They're going to vlog about it. They're going to, fly into space, and they're going to be on their spaceship, and they're going to like take pictures of what they see. And we don't know what they're going to see. There could be things in actual space. We're looking at life on planets, but what if there's life kind of just like floating around in space here and there, some kind of life? We don't know. Or maybe there's something interesting in space that they're going to see that's not something that we see now, that you can only see when you get close to it. So, but what's going to be awesome is the whole vlogs coming back, the whole diaries of these people that are just going to be like sending us information. And then when they get there, they're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. And, you know, they're going to land on that. So that's the next step. And if that happens successfully, and that's really, really what's going to happen, you know, more money is going to go into the next step, which is going to Jupiter, you know, and going to Saturn and going to these other planets. I know you can't land on Jupiter right now with our present technology, but you can land on Jupiter's moons and like put up space stations there and then explore Jupiter in some way, or maybe like get some kind of flyer that can actually go into the atmosphere. It's interesting that the private organizations are the only ones that can do this, because the governments are not funding these anymore. These are never going to happen unless people make it happen. People actually make it happen. People work on it, you know, like people like Elon Musk, or, you know, with SpaceX, that like put all that money together and developed after that spaceship that lands and takes off, that rocket. It blew up 3 times before it landed the 4th time, but it landed the 4th time. It actually worked. And now they have like a rocket, and they're developing the whole spaceship and stuff like that, and things. And this is going to happen. There's going to be a mission to actually Mars. And what hopefully is going to happen is more of these people are going to come together, and people themselves are going to just come together and crowdfund this to a degree. You know, like there's going to be a crowdfunding of this to a degree where people believe in this enough to put money down into it and do the very, very expensive developing and operating costs of doing this, of space exploration, because they believe in it, because they believe in us doing the, you know, going out and exploring like the next thing to explore. We've explored almost all of Earth except under the seas, basically, where we can't get down there and we can't really see anything down there. But we've explored almost all of Earth, and now it's time to like explore the other planets. And we have the technology, and they're going to get together and do it. They're going to think about it. They're going to get the people to come in. They're going to figure it out, and they're going to build it, and they're going to get people to do it, and it's going to happen. And once they get to Mars, it's going to be cool. And then people are just going to be on board with it. People are going to watch the vlogs, and they're going to see what is happening and what's the day-to-day life of people that are living on Mars, you know, like, you know, and that's gonna, by the time that happens in 5 years, there's gonna be more technology to actually take us to the next level, which is Jupiter, and land on a moon of Jupiter and put stations there. But thing is that right now, while it'll take about 6 months or a few months or something to get to Mars, to get to Jupiter is a huge thing, because it takes a lot longer. But maybe by then we'll have the technology to actually get there faster and figure this whole thing out of how we're going to get to Jupiter. But where's Mars going to go? I mean, are we going to really like populate Mars? Are more people gonna sign on to go and live on Mars and take the spaceship that's going back and forth and bringing people back and forth from Mars? And are we going to have like space stations, you know, flying around like in space next to Earth and stuff where people are going to live? And are we going to have like, I don't mean like the little space station we have now where there's a few people. I'm talking about huge space stations where there's restaurants and hotels and things like that, you know, and, you know, putting a colony on the moon. And the moon's a lot easier because it's just closer, you know, and building stuff and bringing building materials and mining materials on the moon. It's just a lot closer. So that's why the moon is a little bit easier to do. But it's like, finally, they've got people that really feel like space travel and space exploration is important, you know, and it is. I feel the same way. I think it is important. It's the next stage in our technological development, and it's important because when you think of a future, you want to think of a future where people are flying around in spaceships around the galaxy, exploring and living on other planets and in space. You know, you just want to feel that way. You don't want to feel like we're just stuck on Earth because we don't want to do anything about exploring where we are, you know, exploring what's around us and what's next to us and stuff like that. So yeah. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any thoughts about this, please comment in the comment boxes and stuff. And all comments are welcome. So any comment that you like to leave, go ahead, I'll answer it for you. And I will see you guys in another video. And if you have any thoughts about this, let me know. All right, take care, guys, and see you later. Space travel!